Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back to 10-Minute Review. I'm Jason. This is Freya, and we're bringing you today's video. As always, guys, please hit the like and yes, we are. As always, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. We're a small family channel. Just love to talk about books and want to bring you guys new books, new authors, new things to read, new things to entertain you guys. So please like and subscribe. The support means a lot to us. We're going to do this anyway. You're going to see videos anyway. But again, support. So today I want to talk about an author I haven't talked about in the past and a new book. A book I just stumbled across on Amazon Prime called Maybe a Hero. Maybe a Hero by Victor Briggs. Maybe a Hero, Victor Briggs. Now, this is a superhero novel, superhero-ish novel. Well, it's a superhero novel for sure. It just has a couple other subgenres along with it. And as always, I'm going to talk about four things: the world, the plot, the writing style, and the character. Well, plot, the world, the characters, the plot, and the writing style. Okay, so the world, our world adjacent. Our world adjacent, basically. Modern times, modern technology. In theory, of course, you got some of the super tech that comes from your crazy smart superhero kind of things, but for the most part, modern times, modern adjacent times. You've got all the standard stuff. If you were dropped into this world, everything would seem normal to you, except for the superhero part of things. And one other interesting little twist that that you would notice in the night sky. But otherwise, that's your world right there. Superheroes, superpowers, a lot of people with powers of various types. And otherwise, modern times, modern technology, modern everything. Now, the characters, really just one main character, Toby. Just a normal, everyday dude. Normal, everyday dude. You've got a couple of other characters, side characters. I think Songbird is one of them. You've got his it's kind of a civilian nurse, kind of like this book's version of the night nurse. I don't know if you're into Marvel comics, because she's just a normal, everyday human, but she also works as a nurse. Now, let's get into the plot. So the plot of this book is fairly interesting. Again, you've got your world with your heroes. However, the strongest hero, Celestial, I believe, has disappeared. Along with that, some of the other stronger heroes in the world have disappeared. And even more worrisome, the stars have disappeared. Stars are gone. There's no stars at night. That would be disconcerting, to say the least. So that is the world we're in, and we've got Toby, who's just kind of your regular, everyday dude, just living life, working his, I don't want to call it a dead-end job, but working his kind of standard little blue-collar job. And he does have a little bit of, not really the good guy, not really the hero, but a little bit of just can't stand to watch certain things. So he ends up tries to rescue somebody who's getting handed a beating in an alley, and he goes in to try and rescue them, and it turns out that this person actually is one of the most powerful villains around, and yet it was somehow very nearly beaten to death. Now, one thing that comes up in this series is that it seems that the superpowers are almost magical in origin, it seems like, and they can be passed on. And this villain passes on his powers to Toby. And again, this is one of the most powerful villains you're going to find anywhere. This guy is strong. So Toby gets these powers. Of course, he doesn't know how to use them, but he gets these powers. And he can't help but start to intervene in certain things that he sees going on, which leads him to run into other superheroes. But again, most of the heroes have disappeared. So he's kind of come across almost like the B team, or the sole survivor of a team that has been killed. And through this, as he ends up meeting two superheroes, and then of course he's got his nurse chick. Can't call her a side chick, but now again, this book has a little bit of the brown chicken, brown cow, wink, wink, nudge, nudge stuff going on here, which of course is kind of standard fare for a lot of these types of books. But it's pretty good. It's pretty well written, and it doesn't overwhelm the book. The plot is still the plot. It's not these adult scenarios. That's not half the book. Okay, so you still have a fantastic book, fantastic plot, fantastic story going in, and I don't know. I didn't look to see if Victor Briggs has written any other stuff. This does kind of feel like a first book in a lot of ways. It's interesting. It's interesting. The world building is interesting, and the plot and questions are interesting. A little bit standard, but interesting. Interesting enough that I want to read book 2. I'm looking forward to book 2. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. And hopefully his writing does improve, because the book was, I would rate the book to solid 5 on a 1 to 10. But again, the plot and the world, it's interesting. It's engaging. It's gripping. You've got your usual conspiracy. The heroes are disappearing, but they're actually being taken. There's another group, a vigilante group, that seems to be working with the bad guys, trying to steal people's souls almost. And superpowered people, of course, have more power to them. Now, Toby is kind of tasked with trying to find Celestial. So apparently, she's not dead. She's not dead, and there's hints that his power and her power are two sides of one whole, and that if he is able to rescue her, find her and rescue her, they might be able to save the world, bring back the stars. We're kind of one of those, almost, it's not even so much a save the world scenarios, you might even be in a save the universe kind of scenario, or save the galaxy sort of scenario. So that's interesting, although it doesn't touch too much on that in this first book. It's more setting up the first book and setting up the characters. He meets the two heroes he meets, how they eventually all, I won't say get along, but all start working together. Eventually they, of course, get along, but all start working together. How they even bring in the civilian, because there's a little bit of pushback on that from the superpowers. And, that's your plot. Now, the writing style, it's simplistic, I would say, and engaging. The characters don't come across as particularly bright, but again, this feels kind of like a new author or new book, first book kind of thing, or first few books kind of thing. So the author is still getting their feet under them. And with that being said, again, I'm very, very impressed with the world building. The world building is interesting, fascinating, and again, I'm looking forward to seeing the next one. So hopefully that is enough. hopefully enough people read it so that we can get book 2. Those of you guys that are interested, if you like superhero books, if you like the Hamlet type of books, and just look for new authors, you should check it out. Check out Victor Briggs. Check out Maybe a Hero after you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Otherwise, thank you everybody for watching, and we will catch you next time. Bye now.